Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. So excited to be back here with Leelah Carpenito, and she's the founder and owner of Leaping Lotus Wellness Studio, based out of Elmwood Park, New Jersey. And we've known each other for quite a few years at this point, and just so excited to have her back here, and excited for all her accomplishments and the new website and everything else. So excited to have you here today, Lina. Please, for new timers, tell us a little bit about what it is that you do with Leaping Lotus Wellness.
Hi, everybody. Yes, thank you, Jill. Thanks for that awesome introduction. It's definitely been quite an overhaul for the last couple of years, and the studio is evolving
Mm-hmm.
into you know what? I have to say, Jill, as a solo entrepreneur, it's really like how you grow and evolve is how your business grows and evolves. And I think any solo entrepreneur would say that. So much has changed in my life, which has kind of been like a reflection of my business now. And I feel like it's definitely taking on a new form. I am moving into a more virtual platform.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is a bunch of things that are kind of on the horizon. It's been a really big undertaking on the back end. So that's why I've been a little quiet because there's been a lot of like regrouping, recollecting, and like sometimes you just need to take a time out and to kind of shift direction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so what I've learned and what I'm hearing from everybody is because one of the big things that I've been teaching and is the showing up to yourself is that Jill and we've talked about self-care so many times. I mean,
Yeah.
we have conversation in a million different ways. And so one of the things that I'm putting together is a really easy routine for people to follow. So like 30 days, it will be like a monthly subscription virtual, but it's not just going to be like a 10-minute little video that you get on YouTube. It's a full self-care plan that will change every 30 days. But I'm talking easy. I'm not talking like an hour or two because nobody has time for that. So I'm talking about maybe a 10 or 15-minute yoga program, a breathing exercise, a daily affirmation, just all things that are very doable, really easy. And so that you pop it in, you listen to it, you follow along. But it's because it's the consistency, right? And it's like that showing up. So that's one idea that's going to be rolling out very, very soon.
Got to tell everyone first and foremost, because the website, I don't think we did yet. It's leapinglotusfit.com. There's so much that you offer. I mean, so many different types of trainings, workshops. I just want to find out about your background. I mean, I know personally, but doing the yoga and you're as a health coach and as a wellness coach, could you just share a little bit about that? I know you're a yoga therapist. I mean, there's many titles, and I'm excited to know that you mentioned, for today that it's like official, like it's all a virtual platform now. You said something happened with the Yoga Alliance and they've approved this, or could you
That's
share
right.
that?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, Jill. So that this kind of all came about because Yoga Alliance, I think it was early 2024. It was sometime recently. They they approved 100% virtual teacher trainings going forward. So we were doing it operating in 2022 and 2023 as a temporary basis, but they didn't know. They got their statistics back, they got their data back, and they said that based on the feedback they've gotten from their yoga community, they feel that virtual is going to serve the community better because it's more adaptable, it's more accessible, more people can do it. So when they approved that, that's kind of what let me, I kind of said, like, how do I do this and how do I do everything like this? So that was really the beginning of the turning point. And I'll tell you, it's been working out great because people can be at home. They don't have to jump in their car. And you know what? That 20-minute commute or that 30-minute commute is a big difference for someone. It's just, it's saving people time. It's making things accessible. My teacher trainings are very manageable. Yes, there's tests. Everybody asks me that. Yes, yes, all of that. But I am here to coach you through it. I am not leaving anybody high and dry. This is not like A lot of these typical
Mhm.
programs that are like self-paced, like pop in a video, watch it, memorize it, take a test. No, this is very hands-on. Most of it is live virtual. And I think Yoga Alliance is their rule is 80/20. So that means
Oh,
80%
okay.
well, 20% pre-recorded videos, which is fine because
Yeah.
um, practice videos are helpful
Mm-hmm.
and it's good for the repetition. And so that's kind of how I've broken that down. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, what else? What else? Sorry.
So then that kind of snowballed into people started asking. So well, I might as well just go down the list. So that was I was in India in the fall of 2023, finishing up my clinicals for my Ayurvedic practitioner diploma, which is it was a degree. So that was also where I was for the last couple of years. I was finishing all this up. And we had to see patients every day, and I had to submit 200 case studies, which was intense. Um, but also from there, I went back to India in January, this past January 2024, took a group, we did a two-part retreat. So the first part was really sort of, I'm gonna call it, it was definitely spiritual immersion for sure, intense. And then we went to Kerala where we did an Ayurvedic detox for another 9 days. Amazing. It was amazing. The feedback we got from the group was off the charts. So as a result of that feedback, we're doing it again in 2025. I'm
Yeah,
very excited about that. It's so cool.
that is
And see,
amazing.
it is amazing. And we'll see. I don't know if this will be a yearly thing, but I'm taking it 1 year at a time and we'll see where that goes. So as a result of all of that, I kind of realized, because I was working while I was there, and this virtual thing is great because my clients can reach me at any time. Um, it's just much more accessible. And then,
Go ahead.
so I've also been writing. By the way, everybody should check out my blog because I've been doing lots of writing on my blog. Um, really more inspirations of um, what came to me was people are really need to be inspired and they really need support. And so I put together a virtual program that I'm going to be rolling out very soon. And I hope everybody checks this out. 14 lessons on how to live an inspired life. So that's all I know. Doesn't that
Like,
sound
I want to
cool?
hear some. Yeah.
So I'm going to read you. I'll read you every week because this is how I set it up. Every week we're going to meet once a week as a group. And so week one is the time is now. It's time to start living your life in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
Week two, dream big and make a plan because a dream without a plan is just a wish. We all have wishes, but how many people turn their wishes into dreams?
Not everyone. We need to start more of this.
Yes, yes. And then plant positivity. So we want to start every single day by tapping into your inner sunshine. And I'm telling you, the very first thing that you do in the morning really sets the tone for the day. And so it's really kind of dictating all of that. Um, the choice is yours. You're always one decision away from living a completely different life.
Mm-hmm.
And we oftentimes keep ourselves stuck and we kind of get in a rut. And a lot of people, I hear this, I'm just in a rut, I'm in a rut, I'm in a rut. And sometimes it takes a little shakeup and a little bit of courage and someone to support you to kind of shake you out of that rut.
Mm-hmm.
Week five is trust yourself.
Okay.
This is a big one because I don't know how many people actually can say they do. Um, so it's sort of like not only trusting yourself, but trusting the process, trusting that the bigger picture, whatever the bigger picture may be for you, has got your back and that everything does happen the way it's supposed to happen.
Mm.
Week six is don't stay stuck. Don't be on autopilot. Like we said, stuck in a rut on autopilot. And I say to people all the time, because also what inspired me was myself and going through my own changes.
Yeah.
And then hearing everybody else say the same thing, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what's the point of all this? Why am I here? I'm going and I'm like, at the end of your life, what would you say? Or if you could look at your life starting from the end and then bringing it back, what would it look like? It's a different question. It's an interesting,
Yeah.
yeah. If you start backwards, and that's kind of what got me thinking, start backwards, start with the end, and then think, because then you can really map out the plan in a different way.
Mm.
Because sometimes we don't, it's not to live life outside of the moment, but to, again, all of these weeks, all of these lessons combined, to think bigger picture
Yep.
and to start to live your life bigger picture.
Mm.
Because we get stuck and because we don't know and we don't have the tools and we haven't actually given ourselves the time or the space to sort of figure it out. Because let's face it, most of us roll out of bed, make breakfast, or
Mm-hmm.
drink a cup of coffee, get in the car, go to work, and our routine is the exact same routine every single day. Saturday morning, we slip in because we're tired from the week. Then we got to go to the grocery store. We got to do the laundry. We got to do all that stuff. And we start the same thing all over again on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
But what about you? Like, yes, that's a role that you play. Those are things that you have to do. But where does that leave you, us as individuals?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not our life. We make it our life, but that's not our life. Do you know
Mm-mm.
what I mean?
It's not.
Right. And so we get on this, I call it autopilot, where we're just literally just on repeat over and over. And then next thing you know, 30 and 40 years have gone by and people are like, what what have I done? I haven't explored any hobbies. I haven't traveled. I haven't, all of those things.
Yeah.
And most importantly, the question starts, you start to ask yourself, like, who am I and what's the point of this whole entire existence anyway?
Yeah. What is it? And then we're all supposed to learn something, I think, right? And then you go to you're working towards learning something, right? And then you go to the next level, but you go, I believe, and you go up to heaven or wherever it is, and then you're going to be faced with another challenge in your next life. It's like we're trying to be wholer, better souls or something. That's how it's been explained to me.
Yeah, right. And it's like that. But if we don't stop and think about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, really we're here for such for such a moment that if we don't ever stop and think and give ourselves this time, we miss it.
Yeah.
It's over like that, you know? So we are on week 7 now, which is be courageous.
Okay.
Adventure awaits you because you have to be courageous. You have to be courageous in this life. You have to be bold. You have to be scared is okay, but excited overrules fear.
Yeah.
It's okay to be scared. Change is scary for anybody, but we've got to look past that and look for something that's really exciting. And a lot of times that's also another place where we're just not sure because nothing excites us.
Mm-hmm.
Week 8 is conviction or convenience. How do you want to live? And this is a big one. This is a big one because we, and I'm generalizing statements, we very often choose convenience over conviction,
Yeah.
meaning I don't want to give up my comfy little this. I don't want to change. I want all these things. I want my life to be different, but I'm not willing to go through a shakeup.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to live life with some sort of conviction. It's, am I giving you something to think about,
It's
Jill?
true. Yes. I mean, there's so much on my bucket list. There's so much that I think about, like you said, if I start at the end, looking back, wow, yeah, I would have wanted to make sure I've done A, B, C, D, which I'm still not doing. I'm working on it, but Yeah,
Right.
because you never know when the end is. So I feel like, yeah, this is insightful because you only get that one life. We
Right.
do. We have
It's
to make it our best.
we have to make it our best and we have to make time for this because this is life. The other stuff is just stuff, and we can't ignore it. We can't ignore our responsibilities. We can't, we all have them, but not to get hung up on them. And I
Hmm.
know that that's easier said than done because a lot of times it's an overload for many people.
Hmm.
So I'm not trying to downplay the level of importance, but it's how we perceive it. It's how we let it affect us. It's how we manage it. It's a blessing to have a job to go to. It's a blessing to have children to take care of, to have a home to clean, to have food to cook. They seem like burdens, but those are blessings.
Hmm.
And so if we look at it from a different perspective, it sort of lightens the heaviness of the way we go through things.
Hmm.
Because what if we didn't have a home to clean? Where would we be? What if we didn't have laundry to do?
Oh, that's a good way. Yeah, the overwhelm of being in a house with the kids and thinking, you're right. I would miss not having that to do. I would want that to do. I could be in a different situation without a home, without a washer dryer.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Then that's yeah. And so it's just perception.
Yeah.
Like when the things kind of shift, like there's people that don't have food to cook. There's people that don't have clothes to wash. There's
Hmm.
people that don't have a home to clean.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way. I'm not kidding. Wow. That is sad, but
But it's true.
in a true type of inspirational way, if I could say. Yeah.
Yeah, because it lightens the sometimes almost the resentment of it because it does get laborsome. But in those moments of laborsome, it's like stop and think about that.
Mm.
Because someone isn't eating dinner tonight. Someone doesn't have an extra t-shirt to put on when you spilled something that you
Mhm.
cooked on yours and you change your shirt really quick because you got the other one dirty.
Mm.
The things that we feel are so disposable, other people don't have to dispose.
Yeah.
We're living in such a disposable society. If we don't like it, we get rid of it. And that includes people too.
Yeah.
It's like that with everything. Oh, like she made me angry. I'm not calling her back. Or oh, like we're very, very disposable. Oh, I could just go buy a new one. Everything is I'll go buy a new one.
Hmm.
Right? Well,
Hmm.
visit a country like India where I was unloading my luggage and left a lot of my clothes behind just because I couldn't fit it all. And you know what? I clothed some naked children.
Yeah.
It really puts things into perspective
Yeah.
because our overload is somebody else's like abundant fortune. That's all they have. My leftovers made a difference in somebody else's life. So that is inspirational. And that's where if we kind of need to start looking because making those shifts will fill your heart, will get you to live from an inspired space because you can live like your entire life is a miracle, or you can live like your entire life is a burden.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
choice is yours. It's your choice. And that's why I say, how do you want to live? Week 9 is laugh at yourself.
Hmm.
Because we take ourselves way too seriously,
Hmm.
way too seriously. Um, week 10 is embrace devotion, and devotion needs to start within. So that's a tie into that subscription that I was telling you about, is like showing up to yourself. Keep it simple. A 5 minute, I don't know, breathing exercise, a 5 minute affirmation, a 5 minute journaling, whatever it is, whatever speak to you, makes a big difference. That's you showing up and that's you devoting that time to yourself.
Hmm.
It's important because if you don't have it to give yourself, you don't have it to give anybody.
Yeah. Wow. Very inspirational. Hold on. Remind us how we reach out to. It's been a while since we spoke. I forgot. I used to enjoy our conversations. You have a way about you. leapinglotusfit.com. My goodness. Wow. You got me thinking about my own health and wellness and, and mental health. Thank you. Remind us how we can contact you. So I gave him the website. What else did you want to make sure we share? But we still have plenty of time.
Awesome. So yeah, the website is leapinglotusfit.com. The email address is leapinglotusfit@gmail.com. The phone number is 201-903-5028. And I am also on social media, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram. So you can find me Leaping Lotus Wellness Studio on any of those.
Mm.
And you can just, also that number is a textable number, so I'm really accessible.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. And also, I know just peeking through your notes, we've been talking a lot, but there's also, I don't know if you want to talk more about some of the other virtual classes coming up. And of course, India in the fall, I know that. Yeah. And what is the mind? You say how to understand it. It's the whole virtual program, but we still got 10 minutes. So whatever you got, bring it on.
Great. So, that was another thing too, because so through the yoga teacher training, people were always saying, you know, the struggle is always, every single time, the meditation, the breathing, the quiet, the I don't know how, I don't know how. So I was like, okay, I see that, it's a tie-in to kind of what we just said. When our lives are going so fast, we're going 100 miles an hour. It's impossible to go from 100 to zero in like one shot. So
Mm-hmm.
I broke it down and I decided to teach snippets of how to slow down so that it's adaptable and it's very manageable and doable for us. And I actually kind of just wanted to explain a little bit about how this all came about is because for a million years, everybody only saw me from the fitness and medical world, from the Western world. And as I started to evolve, as my studio shifted, as things shifted and started moving into more Eastern modalities, I started merging the two. And having been in both cultures and
Mm-hmm.
pretty well versed in both cultures, I could see where they could work very well together, where we have a lot to learn. We can learn a lot from them and they can learn a lot from us. And there's a beautiful merging that can happen. But the thing is, it seems so far away and so far apart, but it's not. Just it's really more understanding cultural perspectives and bringing them into a daily practice. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm coming from, is sort of this bridge of merging East and West.
Mm-hmm.
Because I live in the West. I am a Westerner. I understand how that Western mind works. I understand what's needed. I understand. Look, the East is so much older than the West. They're thousands of years older. It's a completely different culture. You can't compare. It's more about understanding. It's not a comparison. If you try to compare them, it's like it won't even work.
Yeah.
They're so drastically different that there's really nothing to compare. But other than looking at it like, wow, that's a really interesting, don't forget, they've been doing this for 5,000 more years.
No.
When you take a country like the US, who's just really like kind of a baby in a way.
No. Yeah. Young.
Yeah, we are. We're young, we're new, and we have it's a very different culture. We're very rooted in, I hate to use the word materialism here, but kind of. But it's just the way our systems are set up. They were not set up that way. So they're just different by design. So to make a comparison just wouldn't even work.
Mhm.
But to understand where they could support each other and how we could learn from them and take practices that have been around forever and make them adaptable for Westerners, that's really where that's my passion. That's where I see, and I think that Westerners can benefit from this so much. So
Yeah.
that's a side note.
Okay. Okay.
So, because like take Ayurveda, for example, right?
Yes.
It's so old. This has been around for what, again, we think 5,000 years, right? And so studying these ancient texts, it's like a Westerner would pick this book up and wouldn't even know where to begin,
Hmm.
right? I still feel that way after 3 years of studying this. And like, I still feel like, oh my God, there's so much. And so I thought if I could just educate people on their constitution, for example,
Hmm.
um, and learn how to take care of their health so that they understand constitutionally what works for them and what doesn't. That's a game changer. That's a huge game changer for someone. So it's like really taking something so big and finding that little tiny niche that makes sense so that someone can say, okay, I'm just going to do this and I'm already feeling better. And that may be enough for them
Hmm.
because they don't have the lifestyle that we don't have. Like we said, we have homes, we have jobs, we have children, we have schedules, there's only this much time in somebody's schedule for self-care. So what's going to be the most important thing that they can bring into that 20 minutes or 30 minutes? That's kind of my perspective.
Got it. Got it. Well, I love you have so much to offer, your spirit, your energy, and you're always here doing so much to help others. I mean, you have to go to the website because Leaping Lotus Fit, check out some of her classes. I mean, I can't believe the trips you have coming up too. These are amazing. Um you still doing the hashtag be well, be fit, be
Yep.
free?
Yep. Wow, awesome, Jill, you remembered.
Yes.
So
Oh my
cool.
God. Yeah.
Yay.
And wow. Okay, well, we still have just 3 minutes left in the show. What else do you want to make sure we cover for today?
3 minutes left. Okay, so virtual programs coming up, virtual subscriptions coming up.
Mhm.
India Retreat 2025, January 2025. The information is on the website. Definitely check it out. And if you have any concerns or questions about it, please call me. I will talk you through everything. Um, I would like to get a group together leaving from the US so that people can be travel buddies.
Mhm.
Know, um, getting there if you're not a flyer is probably the hardest part. Once you're there, everything is done for you. We have great partners there with everyone. We take care of everything. You are well fed, I promised, well housed. You're not in any place weird, creepy, or dangerous, I promise you. Um, so don't even worry about any of that. You are completely held. Um, my partner and I work really hard on taking care of everybody. So if you have any questions about that, do not hesitate. It is a life-changing experience. I promise you it is.
All
It
right.
really is something. And also and you can do the retreat in separate ways. You don't have to do the whole entire thing because it's 2 9-day retreats sort of put together with a day of travel in between. But if you can't take off of work for that long, we understand. We know we're asked, it's a lot of time. You can do one or the other. So you don't have to feel pressured to do both. We broke it down very, very simply. If you want to come and experience Ayurveda from the real authentic perspective, do that because that's also a game changer.
Got
It's
it.
mind blowing.
All right. Well, thank you again. Remind us how we can contact you.
leapinglotusfit@gmail.com is my email address. leapinglotusfit.com website address. 201-903-5028. Call or text.
Perfect. We will. Thank you so much. And of course, the website, social media, you're everywhere. If you just Google your name,
Yeah.
or Leaping Lotus Wellness, I mean, you'll pop up.
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook, and do you do TikTok? I don't do TikTok.
I don't either.
All right, good.
No
Or
TikTok for
Snapchat.
me.
I know.
LinkedIn.
I leave that for the little ones. All right. Thank you so much. Pleasure
You're
having you back
welcome.
and have a fantastic weekend. And thank you for being here.
Thank
Excited to talk more about
you.
your journey and have a great day and a good weekend.
Thank you. You too, Jill. See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye, sweetheart.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.